Hello, everyone, and welcome to this vital knowledge space. Today, I'm going to help you decipher a symptom that, for many, is simply an annoyance, something they complain about but rarely connect to anything deeper. Thick, persistent phlegm. That uncomfortable sensation, that constant throat clearing, that mucosity that seems to never disappear, that tightness you feel in your chest or throat that doesn't ease. This isn't just local irritation. Your body is sending you a coded message through this secretion, a clear signal that something is happening inside you, far beyond a simple cold, seasonal rhinitis, or a passing allergy. Think about it. Have you ever wondered why this phlegm stays there day after day, week after week, even months? Despite the fact that you're no longer sick, you're not congested, or your allergies seem controlled? Or why sometimes it appears to worsen without apparent reason, becoming thicker and more difficult to expectorate, almost like glue that's choking you. Many people ignore this, attributing it to a persistent cold that never goes away, a chronic allergy that's just how they are, or an innocuous quirk of their body. But here's the key that few people will tell you, and that most health professionals neglect when treating phlegm in isolation. What if this thick, sticky phlegm, this mucosity that constantly accompanies you, is the most eloquent sign that there exists a significant imbalance not only in your respiratory system, but also, and this is where it becomes truly revealing, in your digestive system and, even more surprisingly, in your liver function. This isn't a distant hypothesis. This is a well-documented connection in functional and integrative medicine. A perspective that considers the body as an interconnected system, not as a collection of independent organs. Consider this for a moment. Conventional medicine, in its often symptomatic approach, treats phlegm as a local problem. Expectorants are prescribed to thin it, antihistamines to reduce production, or cough suppressants to ease the symptom. They offer temporary relief, yes, but are we really reaching the root of the problem? Or are we simply silencing a vital alarm your body is sending you without understanding the internal fire that triggered it? Imagine your car has a warning light on the dashboard indicating engine failure. Do you simply put tape over it so you don't see it? Or do you investigate what's causing the underlying failure, which could be something as serious as a defective fuel pump or a compromised lubrication system? With your health, the stakes are far greater. The truth is that in a holistic and integrative view of health, symptoms such as thick, persistent phlegm are like scattered pieces of a complex puzzle. When you put them together, they reveal a much larger picture. A picture that could be profoundly concerning and, if ignored, potentially devastating. Ignoring these signals is not a trivial matter. It can have far-reaching consequences for your long-term health, progressing from minor discomfort to a debilitating chronic condition. In severe and prolonged cases, the lack of attention to these bodily signals could lead to health complications, requiring far more invasive interventions, including major surgical procedures like gallbladder removal, due to gallstones formed by thick bile, surgery to correct hiatal hernias, or even more complex treatments for chronic inflammatory intestinal conditions. All of this to correct underlying damage that, with appropriate knowledge and timely preventive actions, you could have avoided completely. This isn't alarmism, it's a warning based on rigorous clinical observation and recurring patterns in how small imbalances, when systematically ignored, silently transform into chronic and serious problems that seriously compromise your quality of life. Today, we're going to reveal how this persistent mucus, this symptom so common and often underestimated, is actually a direct and crystalline window into the health of your digestive system and, surprisingly, into your liver function. We'll explore the intimate connection between subclinical liver dysfunction, microbial dysbiosis, bacterial overgrowth in the small intestine known as SIBO, increased intestinal permeability or leaky gut, and how these factors can manifest through an apparently innocuous symptom like phlegm. I'm going to reveal 7 key signals that, when combined with thick phlegm, point directly to these underlying problems that require your urgent attention. And prepare yourself, because I'm going to give you a final warning that very few professionals will tell you. A warning that could radically change your perspective on your own health and that of your loved ones. One that could make the difference between a fulfilling life and one of unnecessary suffering. If you feel identified with this situation, if this persistent cough is part of your daily life, if you wake up with that sensation of a knot in your throat and the constant need to cough. Or if you know someone struggling with this problem that seems to have no apparent solutions, I urge you to like this video now. Your like is a signal to YouTube that this vital information must reach more people who desperately need it. And most importantly, type all in the comments just below this video so I know this information is relevant to you and that you're ready to uncover the hidden truth behind this symptom. Your participation helps us reach every corner where someone is seeking answers to the messages their body is sending them. Ready to uncover the mystery of this phlegm and what it truly reveals about your digestion and liver? Absolutely. Let's dive deeper into the first signals your body is sending you, connecting this thick, bothersome phlegm to problems that reside much deeper in your system, specifically in your digestion. Key signal number 1, silent gastroesophageal reflux and chronic gastric acidity. You might think, but I don't have acid reflux, just mucosity. Wrong. There's something called laryngopharyngeal reflux, or silent reflux, where stomach acid, or more commonly, enzymatic vapors from the stomach, rise through the esophagus to the throat without causing the typical burning sensation in the chest. This constant irritation of your throat lining and vocal cords can lead to excessive mucus production as a protective mechanism. Your body is trying to wash and protect itself from the assault. But what causes this reflux? Contrary to popular belief that there's too much acid, it's often associated with low levels of hydrochloric acid in the stomach, a condition known as hypochlorhydria. When your stomach doesn't produce enough acid, food doesn't decompose properly. It stays in your stomach longer, ferments, and this can increase intra-abdominal pressure, forcing the lower esophageal sphincter to open and allowing gastric content or its vapors to reflux. If your mucosity is denser in the morning or after eating, and you feel a constant need to clear your throat, this could be a fundamental clue. This doesn't just generate mucosity, but irritates your delicate tissue that wasn't designed to withstand constant exposure to irritants. Chronic inflammation in this area is something we must take very seriously. Key signal number 2, chronic abdominal bloating, excessive gas, and irregular constipation or diarrhea. Here, we're talking about a clear dysfunction of your intestinal microbiome, what we call dysbiosis. If your intestine is imbalanced with a predominance of non-beneficial bacteria or bacterial overgrowth in the small intestine called SIBO, the fermentation of food produces gas. These gases cause not only bloating and pain, but can also contribute to upward pressure that exacerbates reflux. More importantly, dysbiosis and SIBO often go hand in hand with increased intestinal permeability, commonly called leaky gut. Did you know that over 70% of your immune system resides in your intestines? A permeable intestine allows undigested food particles, toxins, and microorganisms to cross the intestinal barrier and enter the bloodstream. This triggers a systemic immune response, a low-grade inflammation throughout your body. And guess what's one of the classic symptoms of systemic inflammation? Yes, excessive mucus production. Your body perceives an internal threat and generates mucus as part of its defense mechanism, an attempt to expel what it considers intruders. It's as if your body is coughing from the inside out, and the mucus is the result of this constant internal irritation. Have you ever felt like your belly was a balloon after eating, or do you have unexplained abdominal pain? If the answer is yes, and you also have thick mucosity, it's crucial not to underestimate the connection. Think about it. A disordered intestinal ecosystem can literally send alarm signals throughout your entire body, manifesting in unexpected places. It's a connection that many people ignore. If something I've said so far resonates with you or has made you think, please take a second to like this video. Your interaction helps us continue sharing this vital information. What would you say if I posed a question to see if you're paying attention? Did you know that chronic stress can also drastically alter gastric acid production and intestinal motility, worsening both reflux and dysbiosis? It's a factor we often neglect. Think about it, and if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I promise to read most of them. Remember, we're just beginning to decipher these 7 signals. The next ones will reveal the even deeper connection to your master detoxification organ. Stay with me. Key signal number 3. Chronic fatigue and unexplainable lack of energy. If you feel constantly tired even after sufficient sleep, and this fatigue doesn't improve with rest, your liver could be sending a distress signal. Your liver is your body's energy center and detoxification powerhouse. It performs over 500 vital functions, including converting nutrients into energy and neutralizing toxins. When your liver is overloaded, whether from poor diet, chemical exposure, medications, or a leaky gut sending it a constant stream of toxins, its capacity to perform its functions diminishes. This leads to an accumulation of toxins your body can't process effectively, manifesting as crushing fatigue. This liver overload can slow your entire metabolism, also affecting the production and quality of bile. Thicker or scanty bile not only complicates fat digestion, but also affects the elimination of toxins. This internal toxicity contributes to systemic inflammation, which, as we've already seen, can increase mucus production in respiratory airways as your body attempts to trap and expel what it can't properly process. Have you noticed that this thick mucus and your fatigue seem to go hand in hand, worsening during the same periods? This might not be coincidence. Key signal number 4, skin problems such as acne, eczema, rosacea, or chronic itching. Your skin is the largest detoxification organ, and often the last resort when your liver and kidneys are overloaded. If your liver can't process and eliminate toxins efficiently, they accumulate in your blood and your body seeks alternative elimination pathways, often through the skin. This can manifest as persistent adult acne, unexplainable eczema, rosacea that doesn't respond to topical treatments, or skin itching without visible rash. In many cases, these conditions are red flags indicating an accumulation of internal toxins, a liver struggling to keep pace. The skin inflammation resulting from this toxic load is also part of your body's overall inflammatory response. And yes, that same inflammatory response can affect the mucous membranes of your respiratory system, leading to that thick, persistent phlegm. Think of your skin as a mirror of what's happening inside you. If your skin is crying for help, it's very likely that other organs like your liver are doing so too. It's fascinating to see how the body finds ways to communicate with us, even through an apparently cosmetic or trivial symptom. Key signal number 5, pain or discomfort in the upper right abdomen below the ribs. This is a more direct sign. Your liver is located primarily in the upper right abdomen, just below your ribs. Although the liver itself doesn't have nerve endings that cause sharp pain the way other organs do, when it becomes inflamed, congested, or when its glycan capsule stretches, it can generate a sensation of pressure, heaviness, discomfort, or a dull and constant pain in that area. This sensation can intensify after fatty or heavy meals, because those demand greater effort from your liver and gallbladder to produce and release bile. Thick bile or insufficient bile flow, a condition known as cholestasis, complicates fat digestion and the elimination of fat-soluble toxins, adding even more burden to your liver. When your liver isn't functioning optimally, its ability to process histamine, for example, can be compromised, which could exacerbate allergic or pseudo-allergic responses that also increase mucus production. This discomfort is a clear indicator that something isn't functioning as it should in the center of your metabolism and detoxification. If you're experiencing this at the same time as your mucosity, it's an alarm signal you can't ignore. Has any of this surprised you? Or have you made connections you hadn't before? If so, share this video with someone you think might also need this information. You could help change that person's health. And don't forget to like this if you haven't already. I assure you, the information coming next is just as revealing as this. We're building a complete panorama of your health piece by piece, and we still have 2 more key signals and the final warning that will change your perspective. Ready for the next part? Key signal number 6, sensitivity to certain foods and abnormal reactions after eating. If after consuming certain foods, particularly dairy products, gluten, refined sugars, transformed fats, or even certain additives, you notice your mucosity thickens even more, you experience more throat clearing, or you have other digestive symptoms like gas, bloating, fatigue after meals, or skin eruptions, this is an undeniable sign that your body is reacting to something it doesn't tolerate well. These aren't necessarily classical IgE-mediated allergies, but they could be food sensitivities or IgG-mediated intolerances, or other immune responses intimately linked to intestinal permeability. When your intestine is permeable, particles of partially digested food pass into the bloodstream, and your immune system identifies them as invaders, triggering a chronic inflammatory response. This systemic inflammation can manifest in multiple ways, and excessive mucus production is one of them. Moreover, an overloaded liver can struggle to metabolize inflammatory compounds and histamines released during these food reactions, perpetuating the cycle of inflammation and mucosity. It's vital that you start keeping a food and symptom journal to identify patterns. Have you noticed that this pizza or sugary dessert leaves you not only with stomach trouble, but also with a throat full of mucosity? Don't ignore it. Key signal number 7. Persistent bad breath, halitosis, and bitter taste in the mouth. Beyond poor oral hygiene, persistent bad breath, especially if it has a fetid or fruity odor, is often a sign of underlying digestive and liver problems. Bad breath can come from your intestines if there's dysbiosis or SIBO, where abnormal bacterial fermentation produces volatile sulfur compounds and other gases that are absorbed into the bloodstream and expelled through your lungs. It's your intestines speaking to you. On the other hand, a bitter taste in your mouth, especially in the morning, is a classic sign of stagnant bile or bile reflux, where bile from your liver and gallbladder isn't flowing properly or is even refluxing backward. Insufficient or thick bile directly impacts fat digestion and toxin elimination, which creates a liver burden and systemic inflammation that contributes to mucus production. The bitter taste can also indicate dysfunction in your liver's detoxification processes. The relationship is clear. What happens in your mouth can be a direct reflection of what's happening in your digestive system and liver. And these dysfunctions, as we've seen, have a strong connection with thick mucus production. Did you know that ancient Chinese physicians considered the liver the general of the body, responsible for the free circulation of energy and blood? When the liver is stagnant, these effects can be felt throughout your body, including mucus production. It's ancient wisdom that modern science is beginning to understand through concepts like the gut-liver axis. Fascinating, isn't it? If you love what you're learning and think this information is valuable, take a moment to leave a comment with a green heart emoji if you feel your liver needs some love. And please, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss future videos that could transform your health. We've covered the 7 signs. Now, we're going to talk about what you can do about it, always with an integrative and conscious approach. But stay until the end for the most important warning I promised you. Let me share with you some key strategies and lifestyle changes that could help support your digestive and liver systems, and consequently modulate this thick mucus production. Remember, these are general suggestions based on integrative health principles. They don't replace professional medical advice. It's always crucial to consult a qualified doctor or specialist before making significant changes to your diet or health regimen, especially if you have pre-existing conditions. Strategies to support your digestion and liver. Prioritize anti-inflammatory, nutrient-rich eating. Eliminate inflammatory foods. Consider reducing or eliminating foods known to be pro-inflammatory and common allergens such as gluten found in wheat, barley, and rye, dairy products like cheese and yogurt, refined sugars, artificial sweeteners, trans fats found in processed and fried foods, and alcohol. These can irritate your intestinal lining, contribute to dysbiosis, and overload your liver. Increase consumption of real, whole foods. Focus on an abundance of dark leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts, low-sugar fruits, lean proteins like wild fish and organic chicken, legumes, and healthy fats from avocado, extra virgin olive oil, nuts, and seeds. These foods provide fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals essential for liver and digestive function. Cruciferous vegetables, for example, contain compounds like indole-3-carbinol and sulforaphane that actively support phase 1 and phase 2 liver detoxification pathways. Include small amounts of fermented foods. Small quantities of fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, coconut kefir, or sugar-free kombucha can introduce beneficial bacteria supporting a healthy intestinal microbiome and aiding digestion. Optimize bile and digestive enzyme production. Incorporate digestive bitters. Include bitter foods in your diet like arugula, endive, dandelion greens, and apple cider vinegar diluted in water before meals. This stimulates bile and digestive enzyme production, improving fat digestion and toxin elimination. Supplementation under supervision. In some cases, and always under the direction of a health professional, supplements like beef bile, digestive enzymes, or betaine HCl could be considered to support digestion and bile flow. However, this is very individualized and isn't for everyone. Adequate hydration. Drink sufficient water. Hydration is essential for producing more fluid mucus and facilitating your body's detoxification processes. Water helps eliminate toxins and maintains optimal kidney function. Aim to drink pure, filtered water throughout the day. Managing chronic stress relaxation techniques. Chronic stress negatively impacts digestion and liver function because it activates the fight or flight response, diverting resources from digestive processes. Integrate practices such as meditation, yoga, deep breathing, mindfulness, or simply spending time in nature. Reducing stress can improve intestinal motility, gastric acid production, and hormonal regulation, all influencing mucus production. Specific nutritional support with professional caution. Nutrients for your liver. Your liver needs an arsenal of nutrients to function properly. Consider foods rich in B vitamins, magnesium, glutathione precursors like NAC, milk thistle, curcumin, and choline. These nutrients are crucial for your liver's detoxification phases. However, supplementation should be evaluated individually by a professional. Did you know that your liver's circadian cycle is most active at night, between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m.? Getting sufficient sleep and maintaining a regular sleep schedule is one of the most powerful and underestimated medicines for liver health. Consider the importance of rest in your daily routine. If these suggestions seemed useful or gave you ideas, leave me a comment with a thumbs up and let me know which strategy you think you'll implement first. Your feedback helps me understand which topics interest you most. These are general steps that can make a significant difference, but as I promised you, there's a final warning that's crucial. Don't leave yet. The final warning. We've reached the final and most important segment of our journey. We've uncovered the hidden connection between your thick phlegm and the health of your digestive and liver systems by exploring 7 key signals. Now let me summarize them and conclude with the final warning I promised, one you must take very seriously. What is today a simple mucosity or digestive annoyance could be the prelude to chronic and degenerative health conditions that, if not addressed in time, could require drastic medical interventions. We're not just talking about an increased probability of developing gallstones that might eventually require cholecystectomy, that is, surgical removal of your gallbladder. A common operation, but one with long-term consequences for your digestion. We're talking about escalation toward more serious liver diseases, like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD, which, if not reversed, can progress toward non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, cirrhosis, and, in the most extreme cases, liver failure or liver cancer, conditions that are devastating and potentially fatal. Chronic systemic inflammation fueled by a leaky gut and an overloaded liver is implicated in autoimmune diseases, metabolic disorders like insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, and even neuroinflammation that impacts your mental health and cognitive function. This video doesn't seek to diagnose or cure. Its purpose is to educate and empower you with vital information so you take control of your health proactively. Your body has an incredible capacity for self-healing if you give it the tools and remove the obstacles. The key is to listen and act. If this final warning deeply resonates with you and has pushed you to take action, write action in the comments. I'd like to know that this information has made a difference in your perspective. And please, share this video with at least one person you think needs to hear this message. You could save a life. Remember, your phlegm is not just phlegm. It's the cry of your liver and your digestion. A vital conversation your body is trying to have with you. Listen to it, educate yourself, and seek appropriate professional support to discover your own truth. Your health is your greatest wealth, and understanding these hidden messages is the first step toward a full and vibrant life. Thank you for joining me on this important journey.